Okay, hi everybody, and welcome to today's stream. So, I actually started a survey yesterday on Twitter what today's topic should be and whether it should be designing something new, like more posters, some book, or actually have a look at the VSCode paged media viewer extension. So, as you see, the vote went for the VSCode page media viewer, and this extension is actually giving you a paged JS preview of your Markdown files, and you even can export the PDFs directly from your VSCode. So all you need to do is to use this extension, install it on your machine, and I already did that. And when we switch to my VSCode, then we will see it's installed on my machine, and it contains basically Markdown and page.js. And all you need to do is press Ctrl+Shift+V on your Markdown file, and you get the preview. One more important thing before we go into my Markdown file is you need to have a comment with an add top page in your file like this, that the preview is also rendered with this extension. So when we do it here, you will see we get our nice preview. And as you see here with the cookies, we will do what we had in the survey actually as a second point, and that was design a book. So we combine both of that, and actually let's see how to do that with this extension. I also haven't tried this extension much yet, so it will be new for all of us. So let's see. Let's go back here into the Markdown file. So what I already have prepared is I have a basic style sheet. In this style sheet, we simply have some variables defined. We have general settings like the font size, body. We have our page as a A4 page with a pleat of 3 millimeters. At the bottom center, we have a counter for the current page. On the first page, we do have 0 margin. And then for the preview of your page.js pages, we actually use the media screen and have the page view basically defined here. And at the end, I have some sample class which I use inside my Markdown here for this Hello World area. We have a table of contents and then actually a link to one content which is here in a separate Markdown file. And this is the cookies which we see here in the preview. This is now the preview only of the cookie MD file. And if I go back here, we will see the preview as paged.js. So all you need to do is, if you want to use this extension, additionally to just install it, you need to change the security settings for the extension to allow script execution. This is also mentioned in the extensions detail page. If you scroll a little down, you see more samples here, and if you actually go to the repository here, then you find the full example. You see the screenshots for, you find different CSS files, Markdown files, which you simply can download and also try out directly on your machine. So let's go back to VS Code And then, yeah, if you go down here, you see you can also export your files as PDF. So when we go back to my index and I click here, we find the export in PDF format. And it will first create a HTML version of your Markdown and then the PDF. And in the PDF you will see the first page and then our table of contents. There's only one content right now, and that's the cookies. And we have two pages. We have on the bottom the page numbers on both of the sides. And actually now let's try to create this book we wanted to create. And for that, let me go back to the browser and there, let's search for some image for the cover. We can take basically any image. Oh, this one I guess looks quite nice, so let's directly take this. I just copy the link and go back into my VSCode. Okay, then on our first page, let's simply use an image tag. You can also use the Markdown for that and give it a class cover image. Let's see how that looks. We have the image here, and then the second page with our hello world. Additionally, on the first page we of course want some text under our book title, and then we also don't want this page number, which you still see below here. So let's go first to our CSS file, and as you see here on the page we have defined this page bottom center with the counter, and I simply reset it to an empty content on the first page. And now let's see, the page number is gone. This space around here is actually the bleed area, so when we would remove that, we get it in the full size. Okay, then let us add the title on this page. So for this we just define some title here. Let's call it and then let's see how that would look here. So we have that here as the title on the second page, and now we would obviously need to put that also on the first. Let's give it a class of cover title, and let's see what happens if we style it here. Let's first see if it takes our class. Yeah, this is fine. And then let's also see, okay, there's no additional style, so we can simply say here position absolute, and it's still on the second page. I guess we need to do that on the main cover image. Let's see how that will look. Yeah. So now everything is basically on the first page. We have here even the content for the second page on there, and yeah, that we would need to change. So let's go back to our index and actually wrap the whole thing with a cover class. And now let's do that on the cover class. And we still have the hello world up there. Let's see why. So this has the style red. Okay, we need the break after in here. And then yes, we have the hello world there. And now let's see how to get our title back. So we have our cover image. And now we can actually say position relative. And you can say the same for the cover title, or no, sorry, exactly the other way around. This way. Okay. Then let's go back here. We see the image is quite small now up here, and we probably do not need to position the image. Should be enough if we position the cover book, and the cover book is in here. Let's see the cover title. What happens? Put top and right. It's still on the second page. Let us go here, export this. It's on the second page. Let's see. This diff is getting closed. Here with the cover title, so there is some markdown issue, I guess. Okay, now at least we have the red color back. And then guess we still need to position the image. Okay. So let's try by setting a fixed size for our image. It's still only up here. Probably the problem is that we have the HTML within the markdown. So let's see. I'm not really familiar with the markdown, so let's try it like this. Because this extension should also work with HTML. Now our image is completely gone. Let's see. No. Okay, this looks better. So then let's skip the markdown for the main cover page. And what did we say here? Top and right. Then instead of the right, let's go for the left 50%. And when we go here now into the preview, we have it down here. That's also, now it detects it as a code part, so I shouldn't use any indent here. And we have it here. Okay, then let's continue. Let's remove this border on the bottom. And let me actually put the preview here and do it like this. Okay. Then transform for translate minus 50%. Oh, did not render it newly. Okay. Then let's see. No. It didn't render in the different view. Okay, it's fine. We keep it here. And now let's move it a little down. So let's say top maybe 30%. And then we have it in here. And now let's search for a nicer font for this. And let's actually switch to the browser. And see what we have. Let's see. I guess this one would look quite nice. Let's take the import rule. I will copy that back into our CSS at the top. And then let me just also copy the font family and then switch the view back here. And now let's go to our heading, and we could actually say that should only be on the cover page H1s. Now we have our new font here, and additionally let's increase the font size. Let's say, let's see how that looks. Oh, maybe still bigger. Oh, this looks nice, I guess. And then let's also center it completely. So like this. Now let's see. Of course, this font or the color is not very readable on this background image, so let's also add a background color. Let's take maybe this RGBA, almost a little too dark. So let's go, let's take a nice number here. And make it 4. Good, then let's give it a border radius of, so maybe 5 millimeters, and change the color to white. Okay, and this way we would have the title, and now we could also add maybe the author on the first page. So let's make another element in here. And let's style that true. So left 50 is fine, and instead of top 50 we put it at the bottom, and there we do not center it. We give it, let's see how half of the size looks. Well, of course I should not overwrite the heading 1, so we put it for the H2, and we see here the author. It's still a little too big, and we also see we might want some padding, and that maybe on both of these things. So let's make cover H1, cover H2, and then let's copy and put all the common styles in there. So the font will be the same, the position, then top will be different, left will be the same, and actually we can keep everything in here. Let's just do it like this and only overwrite what we want to overwrite in here. Okay. It's too far up because we have now the bottom, but we also have the top, and set the top then to initial. Let's see. Yeah, now we have it on the bottom again. And we also can do our padding. Let's also give it 5 millimeters maybe. And I still think the author is too big, so let's say 16 pixel maybe, PD. Yeah, and also let's give it a different font. So let's go back here and pick a different font for the author. Maybe we pick the Oswald. And then we need to change our CSS definition or our include here, and then we can use this font here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I guess that looks better for the first page. Let us go to the index file and render it again. Okay, let us see how it looks. I guess that looks quite good, except that the viewer here just crashed. Okay. Good, so in this way we got our cover page. And maybe let's do a small change here, like this, and then let's start with the actual content here. So we see already we have a table of contents, and normally we could say this page is for some dedication or something, but we will simply put the table of contents on the second page. So it already, or we gave it already here this ID TOC, so we can actually use that directly in here. And we see the link to the cookies recipe. So let's style this table of contents a little bit. So let's put a heading here. And then we have the cookies below that. Actually, we need to see how to exclude this one from the table of contents. So let's take care of that later. Let's just keep it like this for now. So we have the table of contents here with our content, and if you look in this cookie markdown file, it's actually a heading 2, and we can also change that. And then need to switch to the index, and we see they're both on the same level. Just need to get rid of this table of contents. So now we actually need to style one of these recipe pages, and I guess it's easier if I do it again in HTML. I'm more comfortable with that, but I guess you see, and if you would be more comfortable with Markdown, that you can use that actually here quite well in combination with Markdown it and the page.js. So that looks very well. But let me switch to HTML here, because I want to also have some kind of layout. And if I go back to the browser actually, and in here we go to this page, and we just will steal some recipes from here, which we then put as samples. So what we can do here is, let's search for cookies, and I don't know, let's take some nice chip cookies. So I want actually pictures on the top, then on the left side I want some box like this, and then the ingredients and the directions below it. So kind of similar as this setup. So let's start with the name. I don't know why it's having this one here. Let's just name them cookies, and let's put all of that in a class. Okay. Good, then in the normal preview we just see it like this, and if we go to a full preview we will see our chocolate chip cookies as a header. And now what we need to do in this, we need to add our content, and as I said, I want a picture, I want this on the left side, and then let's start with the picture. And there, let's go back to the browser and actually search for a nice picture here of cookies, and I guess this is nice. Yeah, this should be quite nice. And switch back to VSCode, and we see I already added the heading. I made a div around it, and we have the image. So now here it will be, of course, because we have the indent. Let's remove that. Really need to get used to Markdown. But here we have our picture, and yeah, I don't think we want it that big. Just want it on the top of the page, or maybe just on the side here. Let's see how we handle this. So let's say we have our class, and in there we have images, and we give it a max height of 6 centimeters maybe. Almost a little small. I guess this is better. And then let us actually move that. First of all, let's see that all of these always start on a new page, and we always start them on a new right page. Okay, and now let's move the image. So let's give that position relative, and that position absolute, left 0. Let's see how that looks. Okay, we have it here. And what is the page margin? So really just 5. Don't think so. Let's define a margin here. Okay, and then we'll put it on the corner here. And let's put the ingredients on this side. Or maybe below here, below the picture, and the text, how to make these on the side. So let's see how we do that. So we need another box in here. And what did we want to put below? Let's check. Here we were. Let's maybe put the ingredients below. So let me copy all of them into the code area, and then let's make a list. Okay, we have the list here. We just want it below the picture, and for that, what we do, let's actually give the picture also max width. Let's just comment this out for a second, and let's say 20%. How would that look? Let's say 5 centimeters. Or directly 10. I guess 10 is fine. And then we also make the max height again. So we have a maximum 10 by 10 centimeter box for the image. Okay, then let's move the ingredients down here. So how did we called it ingredients? Not needed, but let's put this class in front of it. We know our image has a maximum height of 10 centimeters, so we say top 100mm, and let's have a look. We also need to calculate in the height of the rest here. So it should be, what did we say? Like this. Yeah, okay. And then let's move it to the side. So we copy the left property, and also here we give it a max width so that the content, yeah, okay. So this is the ingredients. Let's, I guess, decrease the font size on them. Let me see what was the default on this. Okay. So way too small. Let's go for 16. Okay, that looks quite good, and now we just add an H2 here. Ingredients, and this is now completely on the side, so let's give that some margin left. Maybe 10mm should be fine. That's too much. Yeah, okay. That, I guess, looks better for now. And then let me actually see where these borders are coming from, because they must be somewhere in here. If you know where the border is coming from, just put it in the chat. Would save some searching time here. Can also just say H1 and what was the other thing? Div border bottom none, and see if we got rid of them. Yeah, okay. Then for this heading and the other heading, let's actually use the same font as we have on the cover. So we have here our recipes H1 and H2. Let's give it that font and try it out. Somehow now also the selection got, not the selection, the list got this font. And we don't want that. So no. Maybe we need to explicit say that this should have a different, yeah, okay. This way it works, and then we have the ingredients, we have the title, and actually let's move them back in here. I don't like that they're that far out. Should be only the image. Okay, yeah, I guess that's probably better. Let's see. Let's remove this. And then let's simply okay, let's keep it like this, and then let's add more information. So let's go back to the browser and let us take this information, and I just want it as kind of a list on the top. So let's go back here and let's call it details. And then let's simply say minutes. Shortly copy that everywhere. And let's surround these things with a span. That's for sure a nicer way to do this, but I haven't really thought about the structure before starting today. Okay, we have them up here. Now, of course, this is moved, but anyways, we want to position that also. And we want to position it here on the side. So let's do that now. We called it details. So next to the image, the ingredients, we will have the details. And they are also absolute, and this time we know it's maximum 100, so let's go for this. Okay, so this would be actually the maximum size for the image. white a lot though. Maybe we should fix it. Let's go here. And a div around the image. Give that to the image. Okay, and now we could say, first of all, this is the fixed size. Secondly, the image inside is overflow hidden, so we might cut the image to fit in there. Well, not fit in there, but actually to not take too much space. I shouldn't have removed the border. Let's keep that for now. And let's take this. Let's see, I guess it was contain. We were here. Let's remove it. Did I copy the wrong? I copied the wrong image. This one can stay, this one needs to be removed. Okay. Good, and then it was not contain. Was it color? If you know, then just put it in the chat. Yeah. Okay. Good, then let's take care of this text here, and for that we go back in here. We called it details, and let's see, let's give our details also this font, and let's change the size to the same one as the ingredients. Then maybe for the spans we say a margin right of our famous 5 millimeters. Let's have a look. Maybe a little too much to separate it. Okay, and then let's move it a little closer. So we actually have a width of 100, but we move it to the left. So let's check 90 here. Yeah, I guess that looks better. Not really sure. Shall we maybe put the ingredients here too? Let's have a look at that. Would be if we put the ingredients in the details. I guess they would do quite well there. So then let's move this. Let's see again. Yeah, and then give this thing margin top of maybe 5. If you have a better idea how to style it, just put it in the chat. Okay, and this is the are the remains from this thing here, so we can just remove that, and let's call that description and go back to the CSS. So we wanted absolute and wanted from the top 120, and then in here when we go back to the browser we will take actually these steps, these directions. I call it now description, so maybe let's also call it directions here. And then making h2 for this, and then all the steps as a h3. Okay, our steps are here, just that I do not want them in this font, so let's say our paragraphs get also this. Okay, then we have our chocolate chip cookies with the details, the ingredients, and the directions how to bake them. Now we actually lost it in the table of contents. Let's see if our h1 here, and it should ideally also appear here. Let's check that later. Let's first add another thing here so we can just create a new file in here. Let's first have a look, and I forgot to switch to VS Code. So what you missed is actually me adding these directions here, putting the H1, H2, H3 paragraphs, and then giving the Oswald font to the paragraphs and the font size of 12 PD, so that it's actually looking like this. And now let's add another one. So let's go back to the browser and see. Let's take something from the front page. Here, how about this shrimp curry? So let's add that. I actually could also use HTML files directly now, because as you see, I'm writing HTML here. I'm just copying the cookies itself just to first have some content in here. So we see it's not included yet, because in the index itself we need to include our new shrimp curry. Now you see it's actually both on one page. Let's see the cookies we have. Closing, 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 but I didn't close this one here. So we need one more closing div. And as I said, they should start on the right page. The left one is empty. Let's change that now. We don't style the right empty pages right now differently. So we can simply say here page break before always. And then we get our second recipe where we can now add the details of this one. So we have that. I actually didn't put this description. That would be maybe also nice, but okay, next time. Let's now just take these things. Do we have? Yeah, okay. So prep in total is 20. There's no cooking and additional. Servings is 5. And yield is 5 servings. Then the ingredients, let's copy them. And make our list with ingredients here. Okay. Then we put the image now as a background image, which was maybe not a great idea, because now I would need to add a separate class for every recipe, so we should probably put it back in here again, but let's first go for the directions. So we have 2 steps. Then let's have a look. Looks a little strange that we get the cookie picture here now. So once again, let's have a look on how to do this picture nicely. So let us take it and put that in here. And then let's take the tag, put it, and let's go back to the browser and actually take a nice picture. I guess we take simply this one. Okay, then in this CSS, let's remove this and have a look. Now we have the space wasted here, so we would need to make this a little more flexible. And here you see we have also some space wasted, but we have the image quite nicely in here. Okay, then let's actually render it one more time as PDF. And open it here. Now we would need to figure out the table of contents. Is it maybe doesn't make a difference? Probably because it's accepting only the markdown version, or no, did I do a mistake here? Let's see, probably the whole markdown was wrong here. Let's have a look. And now also directions is smaller, you see. Ingredients is still bigger. And we also see here the ingredients, it's because of the absolute positioning, goes down till here actually in the content. So we would need to avoid that too. So maybe we should switch the layout from absolute positioning to a grid. That would be maybe better than what we have right now. But okay, let's go back. Let's see directions. This should all be fine. Then let me go to the cookies again and see if it's and there are the cookies, and Therefore, actually I should use Markdown in the whole stuff here and not rely on HTML again. Okay, and then, but with this trick, what we saw, it doesn't render anything which directly has the HTML tag. So let's just give our table of contents the HTML tag, and then it should, yeah, it removes it from the table of contents here. The HTML structure for this table of contents is actually in here. We have need to render it newly, then we will get the latest version. Okay, let's see again. Yeah, now we have the latest version here, and it actually is in the class table of contents. Okay, so let's go here, maybe in here we could directly say a, and then after, and content target counter. Let's see if that works. 3 and 4. Let's check page 3, page 4. Yes. Again, here we need to fix the markup, so I probably will change the layout from absolute positioning to something relative. Let's try this. Did I write it wrong? Is there no support? Let me shortly check. No, that should be fine. So maybe there's no support for this. Let us render one more time. Maybe it works in the PDF version. No, it does not. So then we move this, and how do we go about it? For now, let's just give it a margin left of 2 centimeters till we find something better. So now we have here number 3 and number 4, and we have the pages. Okay, then let's have a short break. I will be back in a moment, and then we will continue. Okay, I see we have one more person watching, and that exactly when I took a break. Perfect. So what we are doing here is we try out the extension for VS Code called Page Media Viewer. Actually, it's for Markdown, but right now I actually also switched to write a lot of HTML in here. And what we got so far is we got our cover page, we got the table of contents, although we need to align the page numbers better, and we got 2 recipes. So the chocolate cookies here, actually chocolate chip cookies, so double chocolate, and below that the shrimp curry, where the ingredients are overflowing into the directions or steps you need to perform. So to fix that, actually I want to, right now this layout is all positioned absolute, and I want to change that. So we have the details and we have the image, and then we have the directions below. So actually now all 3 things here are positioned absolute, and that's not very nice. So let's make another div for, yeah, let's call it directly absolute here and surround only these two things. And let's make the same in our shrimp curry file. And then we need to change a little bit in the CSS. So we will, should have called it maybe relative, because the position of the absolute class will be relative, but the content of it will be absolute. Might be a little confusing. So let's say relative here, and then actually the directions we should be able to remove actually both of these things. Okay, we are not. So let's see where we are going wrong. So this div and this div is closing here, and the absolute is closing below, and then we have the directions. Famous debugging with the border in red. See, our absolute positioned elements are actually not in there. Let's have a look, let's render this. Should be actually okay. Let's see. Good. Now it's nicely completely broken. But okay, I know, I guess, how we can fix this. So we have the details, we have this thing, and let's just float them. As it's still below. Let's see here. Okay, 1 sec. So we have this thing here, and actually nothing is in there. And let's do it like this. Then move it right. Let's check. Yeah, it does. Okay, okay. Good. Then we need we can do it like this in the shrimp curry also. We put the image up here. Let's not call it absolute, let's call this class flex, and then also here flex, and then justify content space between should be fine. Let's see. Not really. Details, and there was the image class. Let's say max width and gifted also 10 centimeters. Maybe that's even too much. Actually, here also I guess we can skip the div and just put the image and then instead of fixing the size we say max, so that it simply stays within this boundaries. Is this still stretched? Yeah, this is still stretched, I would say. this is stretched. But okay, let's keep it like this for now. And now let's have a look at the bottom here, the description, because something is also still wrong with that. Did I put some style for this? No, not yet. So for the H2 and the H3, we also take this font and let's have a look again. And also let's change the font size. Like this. Okay, then I guess let's move this a little down. So let's say margin top 1 centimeter, 10 millimeters, and check how it's working. Okay, I guess this is quite fine. Let's remove the border actually. So we have a border right here and here. Let's look at the preview one more time. And then let's render the PDF for final time for today. And then the next time we will continue and make it even nicer, and let me think a little bit about the structure, how it should actually look. So let's go here, let's say into different view. Did it? Okay, it did change the view. So we have our cover, which already looks quite nice. We have our table of contents, and I guess for the table of contents, let's do one more thing before we stop today. So the table of contents was here, and we say page break, not break after, but break before, and we say we want that on the right side, and let's render it one more time. This PDF preview within VSCode, I have here this extension. Gets stuck a lot of time. Not sure what's wrong with it. Okay, so we have then again the cover page. We have a empty except the page number. We will get rid of that in the next session. Make this page blank. Then we have the table of contents, and we have our 2 recipes. So maybe also the next time we see that on a left page, we have the image outside here on the left side, and on a right page, maybe we put the image here on the right side. And yeah, change the style overall a little bit, but in general, the main goal today was to have a look at this page media viewer extension, which is actually quite nice. You can directly work with Page.js inside your Visual Studio Code, and you saw it works very well. So the preview is very nice, and also the PDF generation works directly from your VS Code. So this is very good, and all you need to do is in your document you want to preview it, you need to add this comment in the first line at top page, but that's also described in here if you check the documentation. Okay, next time we will then continue working on our book here and yeah, try to finish it, or not finish it, at least make the style nicer and maybe add a few more content. Try how to get the table of contents nice, this page completely empty, and maybe also some additional in between pages with different looking recipes. Okay, cool. Then thanks for joining today, and talk to you soon.